This is like the third reshoot of this video. I made a couple of mistakes. I mentioned names. I shouldn't mention names. Okay, let's say this is an issue where it was after handoff in a locker room interaction. A friend comes to me. We had just finished the shift, and she was just finished actually talking to our manager. And I'm putting this shit away. I'm ready to get the hell out of Dodge. She goes, I just finished up with, manager and I was complaining about this guy. Because I asked what's wrong. I was like, I could tell. I was like, something's up. What's up? And she says, this guy's been really mean to me lately. I had a complaint. I was like, oh, really? No, the guy. He's been on our unit for a couple years as a nurse, only for maybe a year, but very, very good nurse. One of our foundational members is, I like to say, a really good nurse, a better nurse than me. All right, totally concede that point. Even though he's a year before me, he and I went to the same school. I never crossed paths with him at school though, but I worked with him on the unit. He has great mentors. He's had great preceptors. He has a great mentor. Very likable guy. Very straightforward. Very affable. Very cool. And the nurse that was complaining to me, she's relatively light too. She's nice. I actually mentor her pretty much unofficially, but I mentor her. I help her out, whatever. I've helped her out in a number of scenarios because I was like, don't worry about that. I did the exact same thing, and I'm still here. And now it's post-COVID. They're not getting rid of you. I said to her, I was like, no. It's like a doctor said to me during COVID. She goes, something, right? I could probably kill somebody right now and like physically take a gun and pop them, and I get away with it because they need me so much. It was sad. She was saying it like sad wise. She was like, not sad, but she's like jokingly sad. She's like, that's sad. She's like, I can get away with murder because we are so short-handed and so screwed in the healthcare field and providers that they need me under all circumstances. They're probably recruiting convicts that were MDs, So anyway, same scenario I said to her. I said, they are so short-handed. Short of you being insubordinate, telling a manager to F off, and that's happened, they get rid of you. You literally had to, someone told the director to F off. Yes, the next day she was gone. But they let her finish the shift. Gotta let her finish the shift. Deal with it tomorrow. Left tomorrow, but they let her finish the shift. What are you gonna do, right? So I was like, dude, you're not in any danger of losing your job. Those are honest mistakes. No, nothing happened. No danger to the patient. Not the best procedure or protocol and whatever, et cetera, but all cool. Okay, you learn, you move on. That's the point. That's why she's in residency. I was like, that's why you're a resident. That's the way it is. Don't worry about it. As long as there's no patient harm, good. All right, that's the holies of holies. You gotta maintain that perimeter, right? So I was like, the interaction that she was describing with me for this nurse, though, I was like, yeah, that's a bit nitpicky. It was basically chart information that he could have found out with 2 clicks of a mouse. Click, click. All right, there it is. All right, but it is pretty standard that a nurse will say, white count was this, that is abnormal, or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that, but I'm just saying, that's something you might throw across there. Or pending labs, UA was drawn, it was negative. It basically, the analogy would have been, she said, oh yeah, the UA was drawn, results came back, and then just moved on. He wanted to know, was it positive or negative? That kind of thing. That's the subtle thing that he was looking for, and I don't blame him. But I'm of the type of nurse that I don't care about the nitty gritty of that. I'm more concerned. Okay, there was a UA ordered. Was it drawn? That kind of thing. Period. is it resulted? It has resulted? I'll find out. She's, usually they'll be like, I didn't have a chance to look it up. I said, move on. Don't worry about it. I'll look it up. I have the time. I'll deal with it. If I don't have the time, it's something else. But I 100%, even when I'm swamped, I have the time usually to quick, look at it even on the cow. And that's where we give handoff. We give bedside handoff. So I don't bash him for asking it, but if I was giving handoff to him, I would have given some of that information. But if I didn't, or if he was giving me the handoff as the night nurse, I wouldn't have cared. When I say, oh, you don't know? That's all right. Don't worry about it. They don't know the gauge. Don't worry about it. Is it right or left? I was like, oh, you don't know? I'll look. Don't worry. I want to check it anyway. It's okay. Stuff like that, it doesn't faze me so much. Maybe that is the preceptors that I had. They were all icemen or ice queens. Nothing fazed them. They were cool as a cucumber. Codes happening, they moved at a slow, steady pace, very meticulous, no problems, whatever, or fast when they had to. No problems. I still, I'm a fucking idiot with codes and RRTs. We just had one. And I was like, I'll do the charting because I'm not ready. I don't feel comfortable doing hands. I could, but I don't feel comfortable yet. And I'm in this over 2 years now. So, it is what it is. I'm fully aware of my limitations. Don't let your ego get in the way. So I try to console her and say, yeah, I'm shocked, about the guy, but I also know her personality. And I was like, yeah, that's okay to know, but yeah, it's a little off. I just disagree that she brought it to the manager. I would have confronted him myself. Again, that's age. That's my maturity versus her maturity level. I'm not going to say she's immature. I'm not going to say he's immature or mature. Either way, they're both right and wrong. But I will point out that because, and this is maybe gender bias, because he's a guy, he wasn't being passive aggressive. 99 times out of 100, men do not understand that term. We don't. We're aggressive. We're openly aggressive. That's the way we are. So that's why, and her point of view and her stance was that he's being passive aggressive. I said, no, he's just being very meticulous. I tried to put that point, but I said, don't let it bother you. You don't have to work with him. He's on the other shift. He's day shift. She's night shift. And you just have to hand off to him and whatever. And I was like, it doesn't hurt to do that. But yeah, and I told her, I was like, I wouldn't give a shit about that. I can look it up. You can look it up. He can look it up. Really, it's nothing that you missed. So don't let it bother you. But I don't think his delivery was awesome. I'll knock him on that. He can't, even though he's a real good guy and top-notch nurse. Like I said, one of the best nurses we have. And unfortunately, I think he's leaving. He just doesn't want to deal with the BS anymore, and he doesn't have to. It's a shame to lose him, but it is what it is. He is a top-notch nurse, though, and I'm not going to question his skill set or his questioning because they weren't unreasonable. I just questioned that she thought it was passive aggressiveness to her specifically, or just to her or to people in general. I was like, I don't think that's just being diligent. I was like, if you worked with this person or this person, and she's like, oh yeah, they would have cut my throat. I was like, yeah, they would have gutted you. And one of them was my preceptor. I was like, you kidding me? She would have gutted you head to toe, no problems. And she would have been nice with you 10 minutes later. Maybe that was for passive aggressiveness. I don't know. She was kind of more like a guy. She didn't care. She would tell you to go F off. She didn't care. Even to old time friends. I've seen her do that to old time friends. They're like, hey, how are you? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know if it was just a flat effect or nothing, but I seen her happy too. So no, maybe they weren't such good friends. I don't know. It was weird. She was precepting me. But don't always, the point of the video, long way to this is, try not to take things with a thin skin. Sometimes the other nurse is either just curious, they want information. They want to get right to the point. And I think that's more the guy she was complaining about's point of view, because he wants to start his day. He wants to get his insulin coverage. He wants to start. He's that type of nurse. He don't want to hear it. He hates it when I start droning on to him a little bit, and I take a little longer. I could see him start getting antsy, and I'm like, all right, done. You know, what are you gonna do? I gave you a report, finished. You seemed like you were in a rush. I finished. You didn't want to know the extra stuff? That's your business then. Find out on your own. You know, I'm telling you valuable information. You know, I have to do the patient identifiers. I have to do this stupid stuff that's legally necessary. The rest of the stuff you want to know, that's up to you. You want to listen to what I got to tell you? I have valuable advice. You should have started 5 minutes earlier, in my opinion. And that's the other thing. I was like, you know, handoff, don't start at 7:10. Start at 7:05. Start at 6:55, 6:50. That's when I start. And people are like, oh. I said, yeah, don't punch out early because we're going to finish up quick. And they're happy. People are like, they fight to want to have handoff. They're like, oh, I want Ray to, because he's here early. He's done. I want to get out of here. They're like, oh, no, I want to switch because I have to leave early. Oh, I have to pick up my kid. They want report from me, and they want to give a report back to me because it's quick. You know, I become a valued commodity that way. Although questionable nurse, you know. But I didn't want her to take it personally because she is still a new nurse. She still needs to learn. You know, this is a pretty long video. I'm sorry it's so long. I'm sorry it took so long to get to this point. I hope you guys did listen all the way because it is valuable for you to have a thicker skin and take things. Not abuse. That's not what I'm talking about. Not talking about being hazed. That's intolerable. I don't like that shit. I don't believe in that shit. Unless you're friends. And then I'm going to haze the f out of you. You know, I bust all my friends' chops. When I feel more comfortable with them, then I start busting chops. Okay? It's not hazing. That's just busting chops. And that's fun. That's fun. That's shits and giggles. You know, you got to pass the time somehow, right? But hazing, I say, get the f out. I'll report you. You know, I'll go to the manager. I'll write you up myself. But shits and giggles? Come on. You know, we have a really tough job. You need to have a really good sense of humor. Otherwise, you're going to cry a lot. You know, literally. Okay? Good luck. Hope you guys hung in there.